about NEP 2020. Seema, I think you can start your polling.
Yes, ma'am. So, academicians, here's the poll which is getting launched. So, please, there are just 2 questions and you can quickly answer them. So, you'll be able to see 2 different questions in front of you. You have to click either of it.
Make me the co-host so I can mute people. I think some of them are unmuted.
Yes,
so it will be good too.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, okay, cool.
Make me the co-host so I can mute people. I think some of them are unmuted. So it will be good.
So we have around 27, 28 people have responded. We'll wait for another 2 minutes. Request for people who have not done it, please do it.
There are 66, 68 people on this. So I think
Yes.
More, only half 50% is what they have, almost 48% is what they have done. Please go ahead and fill it up.
But we have some interesting responses, which is good to know. Anyone facing difficulty in finding ways to poll, or someone taking it from mobile so they're not sure where to go? Let me know if any help required. So 40 of them have taken the poll.
While the rest of the people are attending or no, just come filling up, around the 20 of them have to fill it up. I just request the teachers who said well prepared or extremely well prepared, can they just indicate which school they are coming from, please? You would know who you have answered which one. So if you can just unmute yourself and say which school you are coming from, it will be great for us to understand that.
So I think we are stagnant in numbers, Lata, and have sent the results to your WhatsApp group.
It is 42 or 6, only 60 people are polled. We still need another 26. 26 people still have to poll. Even at least 20 of them, if they poll, or at least some 75% must be there, no? Before we close. Okay, so we sort of assume this is the case, is it? That we'll leave the outliers. About 27% of them say they are well prepared, and about 69% of them say they are somewhat prepared. Okay, cool. So 70% say they are somewhat prepared, which seems to be the majority. All right. And 26% say they are well prepared. Okay. And 63% of them have attended between 1 to 5 webinars. Okay. Yeah, I think you should end the poll, Seema. Oh, see,
Yes.
people are still right. Giving it. Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah. There are few more registrations.
Okay.
Sumera ma'am, which school are you from? Rainbow International. Okay.
Okay, Seema, I think at 5:18 we should close it. 50 have voted. Cool. Okay, so this is how it is, teachers. You can see, I think 62% of the people who have responded are between 1 and 5. They have attended between 1 to 5 webinars over the last 15 months, and about 70% of them, which is a good number, say they are somewhat prepared. So I'm going to stop sharing and then open the floor for discussion. Seema, we can probably close it.
Yes, done.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So teachers who for people who said that they already have have some experience of being prepared, I would like you to just come on video and then or come on video or otherwise as well. What kind of preparation has your school done? Can you please share it with the larger forum? Teachers, principals.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. This is Agnes, Principal Bharati Vidya Ashram. Yes, the board has equipped the principal. What is the NEP, everything, and ready, set, go. The thing, a kind of experience the board has given. As a principal, I am, and as a principal of a remote school with the remote set of teachers and parents and students, very slowly I have started inducing it, starting from the examination point of view and the teaching point of view. Very slowly they are taking it and we are moving towards it. That's the thing. And even my teachers are not able to understand. They are still sticking to the typical kind of teachers, and it's getting very hard for the school head to push them. So that is my scenario, ma'am.
Thank you, Agnes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to? We'll just take 2 or 3 more and then we will move on. In the interest of time, can you please volunteer? Whoever has said, no, we have a large number of people who have said they are prepared. That's why I'm very keen on understanding that more as from a perspective of someone who always works with schools and teachers. Anyone else who think that they are prepared? I would just like how Agnes ma'am shared. If you can also share, please. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to change the question because I'm not getting the volunteers. I'm going to change the question here. Let us say, if you have to change your lesson plan, the important deliverable or a collateral for a teacher before he or she enters the classroom, how has that changed? How do you think that has changed or that will change in the future from what it was in the past? Anyone? Manjula ma'am, I'm going to pick you because I know you. That's why. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the changes that you think that you need to do in the lesson plan? What are the changes that you have to effect in your lesson plan before you can help your teachers change theirs? What will you do?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we were writing in different way, lesson plan, totally in different way, not in like 5 E's method and all. So now after this NEP implement, we have planned to go about how the board has to, how the board wants teachers to write the lesson plan with lot of activities related to Bloom's taxonomy. And so we have planned activities to reach all type of students who can learn indifferently. So that is a very important points we are going to include in a lesson plan. So lesson plan pattern will definitely we are going to change from next year onwards, ma'am. So we principals and HODs and all, we spoke to each other So next year, because our lesson plan is totally different, in different way. So we are including Bloom's taxonomy activities in our lesson plan. That is one thing. Regarding NEP 2020, we are implementing the admission 4 years the child has to complete to join the school. Before it was 2 years 10 months, like 3 years of course, almost. So that is one thing we are going to follow. And infrastructure we are increasing, construction is going on to add 11th and 12th. Like teaching methods, a lot of training has been given to the teachers, and we have told 50 hours of training has to be taken by each teacher, which is given by the central government. So these are the very important thing we have planned to prepare for NEP 2020. And as usual, the one skill-based education has to be given in the 5th standard when the children come. So that also we are planning. Before also we used to have that one fine arts in every weekly once. Before also we had actually. So we are going to plan little more regarding that, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Manjula ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone, any other head wants to share? Anyone else? I don't know anyone else. Sumati, if you know anyone else, any other principal you want to ask them? Any other principal whom you, because it's a lot, a number is very high. 70% have said they are prepared. So it's just a request. Okay. Fine. One of the, let me just ask you this question slightly differently. What are the components of a lesson plan? What are the components of a lesson plan? Ideally, go ahead. You can probably share. You can just unmute yourself and share, or you can type it in the chat box if you cannot unmute. What do you think should be the biggest change in the lesson plan?
I think
Sumati?
Kadmani Kavita can speak on that. She's a regular thing, and then they're given 4 C's.
4 C's. Okay. 4 C's, are you saying should be there now, or do you think it is already there, or should be from next year onwards?
It should be there from now onwards. So that, good evening, ma'am. Sorry.
Good evening.
It should be there from now onwards.
Okay.
So that the children are related to the real life. The connectivity should be there. Whatever the education is there, the connectivity we have to link.
Connectivity you have to link. Yes. Thank you so much. Your name, ma'am?
Nilofer, ma'am. Nilofer Fatima.
Nilofer is from our diploma program.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. Sumiti, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, Nilofer.
Okay, so Ritu ma'am says subject integration, multiple intelligence, and life skills they have included. All right. Manjula ma'am says instructional design they have included. Very good. Anyone else? Continuity of learning. Awesome. Ritu Saxena ma'am. Good. Continuity of learning also. Anyone else? Can you tell me what is why do you have to write a lesson plan? I'll just go back to the first principles. Why do you need to write a lesson plan? Is it important at all? I don't want to be the only person talking. Come on, teachers.
Obviously, yes, ma'am. Lesson plan is very, very important. Without preparing, we cannot go to classroom at all.
Right. Now I'm asking other teachers here. Teachers.
Ma'am, good evening. This is Rajeshri from Chennai.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
As of now, I am not working, ma'am, but still, I will say lesson plan is very important for the learning objectives. The teacher should know what is the objective and what should be the learning outcomes which we have to achieve after learning process is happening. So lesson plan is very important. And as per NEP is concerned, ma'am, now art integration and skill development is very important. While writing our lesson plan, the teacher should make effort and plan that which part, like mathematics and history, basically these 2 subjects are there, which is very hard. So they have to think which part they will be integrating with the subject to make it more easy for the children, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. So I think include life skills in lesson plan. I think there's a nice thing, day-to-day experience with concepts and integration. Okay. Now we'll all do one experiment. Okay. I'm the literacy and numeracy. Okay. Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. 1 second. All right. So I think there are a few answers in the chat box. Seema and Sumati, I think you may have to look at it because I can't look at it when I'm presenting. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I know most of you did a lot of KWL on NEP. So what is it that you want to know? What is in that column that you say you know already? Can some of you share a few points in the chat box? What is it that you know, the K part of your KWL, please, before I share mine? The K part of the KWL. Since you all wrote the KWL, yes, ma'am. Nilofer, ma'am, the K part is no. What is that K? Okay, if what she says activity based, okay, that's what NEP is all about. Good. Things that the students know already. No. In this case, Priya Raul, ma'am, you are the student. So what do you know about NEP is what you need to write now. New education policy talks about life skill training. Okay. Inclusive classrooms. Thank you so much. Know what they understand. No, what you understand. Deepa Lakshmi, ma'am, what do you understand about NEP? We are not asking about what is KWL, what do you know about NEP? 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, very good. Competency based education, integrated teaching and learning, 21st century skills. Okay, what else? Right. So we have 78 teachers and there are not 78 answers here. Come on, teachers. How would you feel if your students don't answer? Descriptional activity, subject integrated. Okay, cool. Now I want FLN readiness. Very nice. FLN. All right. I think that there's a lot of input also. Cool. Now I want you to go back and then write about the W part of it. What is it that you want to know? That's very important. Now going forward, whoever is typing in the chat box, please write about the W aspect of it. The second column that you have written, the W part. What is it that you want to know going forward in NEP? How is it different from NCF? Okay. Competency based, how to implement it in the class. Thank you, Bhuvaneshwari ma'am. Okay, how to implement in a classroom. All right, how to implement. Thank you. So 3 teachers, 4 teachers, 5 teachers have said so far. 78, 73 more answers have to come. FLN readiness. Okay. How to incorporate it with a lot of syllabus. Yes, that's a big problem. How to integrate it with real life. Okay. How to go about. All right. Vocational training may be a challenge. Yes, I would need at least another 10 more. Come on, teachers. Please don't be passive listeners. To frame the annual pedagogical plan. Okay. Okay. How to use it in English subject, connect to day-to-day life. So the biggest problem happens to be how to implement it in the classroom, how to implement it in day-to-day life, how to complete the syllabus. Okay, I have attended many webinars from CBSE, unable to understand how to implement. Okay, how to adapt. All right, thank you so much. Now we will, I know some of you have attended trainings and some of you have not, but let us now go back and then have a quick discussion on this. Thank you so much, teachers. You have been, really, really cooperative. Okay, now I'm sure what we will do, the way that we will do it is we will just take what exactly, how should it be implemented in the classroom, and we'll take one example. And at that time also, I request all of you to be very, very active. We only have 30 more minutes. Okay, so I think Manjula ma'am said it very, very well that for every teacher going forward should at least have 50 hours of continuing professional development every year, and then NISHTA has to be completed compulsorily, and then all of it, the monitoring of the schools by higher education institutions, all of it will be there. So I'm sure you know about this. Okay, so you also know about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. I think someone mentioned it. For those of you who do not know, this is something which is a big change. Can you all see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. Seema, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, very much.
All right, thank you. So you would know from kindergarten, grades 1 and 2 have been combined together as foundational, and then you have the preparatory years, and then you have the middle years, which is grades 6 to 8, and then you have the high school for the 4 years. That you understand all of this. I'm sure if you do not know, please remember this number 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and then you will be able to make that out, right? Okay, so this is one important consideration. So what happens in this case also is you will not be able to, you should not be calling yourself, I'm a subject teacher, I'm a math teacher, I'm an English teacher going forward, if you are teaching in the grades kindergarten to grade 5, because you cannot say that anymore. I know a lot of schools actually still have this classification. That classification goes, and only then will proper integration happen across subjects. If you have that classification, you will never be able to do the integration across subjects. We will come to that right now. Using one example, we will actually do that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. And here the focus is, this is the focus. I know this is a little tiny also, but I can't expand this beyond this. The focus that is there, how is the school structure, how is the school system restructured under the new NEP? The foundation, all they will do is activity-based learning. I think some of you did mention. They will also be more play-way based. And even the preparatory also has the same requirement. And then the preparatory, obviously, the reading, writing, speaking, all of that becomes very, very important. And in the right-hand side, whatever you see, the foundation and the preparatory stages, all the subjects have to be integrated. So you will not have physics. I'm a math teacher, science teacher, so you will have to handle all the subjects. So I'll take one example right now. Whereas in the middle school and the high schools, from middle stage onwards, you'll have the vocational as one of those aspects. And the most important part of it, when students leave the school, they should know how to learn. And that is what they will learn at these various stages, because many children do not know how to learn, and self-learning going forward, whether you like it or not, is going to become very, very important. And all of us, the NEP Bootcamp is all about self-learning. Please remember that. Right. And changes in textbooks, I think that there's this one that, so there's a flexibility. You can have defined textbooks, but you also have a teacher. As a teacher, when you are planning for your lessons, you need to bring in so much more additional content as well. Only then you will be able to understand, inform the children. You can discuss with the children how it can be implemented in real life, and how is it happening, and the various subject integration can all happen, not just with the textbook, but a lot of other material. So you yourself must be geared up for that. That's important. The second one, as I know a lot of you did mention, is competency based. It moves away from completing the syllabus to has the child-based, learner-centric. It becomes outcome-driven more than objectives-driven, right? Earlier, it was learning objectives. I should be able to do all of this. Right now, the child should be able to do all of this. That is what will now end up happening. Right, I'm sure you have seen all of this. So multiple forms of assessments also come into play. It will not be the same form of assessment, and the way that you will have to start giving out feedback to the child also will no longer be, in a linear format. It will become multidimensional as well, and it will not be time bound. Earlier, so much of syllabus has to be completed in 8 months. Now it will become self-paced, outcome-based, and that's why self-learning becomes even more important. I will not touch the multilingual because I know it's still, there's a lot of confusion based on this. And someone did mention holistic learning. How do you include the 4 C's in the classroom? Creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. And experiential learning is something that is very, very important. So we will go through this using one example. And I'm just going to quickly pass through this pedagogical, and I'm sure you know about this. And we will just take one pedagogical approach here, which is called experiential learning. And I want you to be with me. I'm just going to skip all this because of lack of time. Okay. Now let us see. Let us say that you are actually doing a nature walk. And nature walk can happen in any grades, right? Right from kindergarten to grade 8, because you have biology across and you can do all of these activities. So I want you teachers to come and tell me, how are you doing it now? If you have to teach about the different types of leaves, the different kinds of things, how do you do that right now? Let's say, can you please unmute and share, or you can even type it in the chat box. How are you doing it now at this point in time, if you have to teach this concept to your children?
Actually, we take them out. Sorry, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, go ahead.
Take them out in the school gardens itself. We can show different kinds of leaves all those things we can make them explore, and we will ask them to pick up whatever leaves they find it in the garden, and they can show that.
Which age group is this?
Ma'am?
Which age group is this?
6, 7, 8 students.
6th, 7th and 8th standard students, they'll pick up. Okay, so what is the objective? What is going to be the outcome on this one? I don't know who answered. There are two people's thing which was unmuted. So I'm just wondering who answered that. Is it Rashri ma'am or?
No, I'm Jayanti from Coimbatore.
Yeah, Jayanti ma'am. So what is it? What is the outcome? What do you think? What should the child learn at the end of this nature walk?
Actually, they will come to know about the things. What we did is we planted some. Actually, not last year, previous year. That is 2019. We did this. We planted some that. What we tell that. Sorry, that short crops, cash crops. What is that, ma'am?
Cash crops. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because they had that in their lessons. So we made them to plant it. So the cash crops came very early, like jover, all those things. It will come early, and they, the children itself planted it. And when it came out, we wanted to find them what crop is that. What is the name of that crop? So it took at least 1 month, ma'am, for finding out that difference between those leaves. Because even as we don't know what crops are there and all, so they were doing those experiments. So they came to know about all those cash crops. The teacher made them to do that. So it was really exciting to see the children outside doing all those activities, and they found out. So, ma'am, this is what this is jover and this is ragi. Something they were telling all those things. They came to know about all those things. It was very nice, ma'am. That they enjoyed doing that. So when
awesome. So in a Bloom's taxonomy, what will this learning be, ma'am? Jayanti, ma'am. What will this learning be in this Bloom's taxonomy? Is it, the base level, or is it what level will that be?
It will be.
If they're able to identify this is what jover is and this is what paddy is and this is what it is, what kind of learning is that? Anyone else wants to answer? Thanks, ma'am. Jayanti, ma'am. That's a lot of input. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Binsi says it's a cognitive. Analytical. Is telling creative and analytical.
No, it is not. What is it? If I can just identify that this is what this is, what is that?
Knowledge.
It's knowledge based. Exactly. It's just knowledge based. That's about it. We are not doing anything analytical also. All right. Now, if I am able to come back and say this is a seasonal crop, this comes once a year, twice a year, whatever that is, or this is going to be for a longer time, and I base it. Ma'am's was speaking about science. Now, if I'm able to connect that with geography, then what does it happen? What happens then? What kind of learning would that be? In the Blooms, please, teachers.
Ma'am, correlated.
You correlated, that's right. Yeah, multidisciplinary, right? Integrated, yes. But you're integrating it with what subject? Anjali, ma'am. Geography. You are doing it with geography and science. You are now doing it. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me how would they do this observation with math? Remember, this is going to be integrated multidisciplinary. How will you do this with math?
Shapes. And non-symmetrical area of non-symmetrical shape.
Size, how the size has changed over the period of time.
Very good. And then, very good. So area will now become math, and then somebody said symmetry, non-symmetry. Very good. Okay. And then how would you describe it? What would that be?
Understanding.
Understanding is fine in the Blooms, but what subject are you integrating it with?
English.
Language. So
it's linguistic.
Awesome. It could be any subject. It doesn't matter whether it is English or not. It could be any subject, right? Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, whatever it is. Now, Jayanti ma'am gave one thing, which is science. And now what all have you integrated it with?
Math,
geography,
English, right? Linguistics. Correct. So you have actually done this integration.
Also call it bodily kinesthetic because children are working there in the garden.
Awesome. That's a very nice thought.
Even
Sumati, you
art
have anything else to add?
Ma'am,
art also, ma'am.
this banana
Artwork,
leaf,
very good. Yeah,
yes,
artwork. Who
ma'am,
said artwork?
using
Very
this
Even
banana
naturalistic.
naturalistic. Very nice. Okay.
and ma'am, using banana leaves, we can decorate the backdrop for any functions. Nowadays, it is very famous now. So banana leaves, they will place it and they will use it as a backdrop for any function where any functions is going on. So very creatively, they are doing it nowadays.
Very nice. Yeah. That's so that artwork also comes in. So within that, so you understood, right? So this is all has to happen inside your lesson plan. When you are actually planning your strategy, your instructional design, you need to be clear what is it that I'm going to put in and why am I doing it? Very important. Now, someone said observation. Very good. Whoever said observation, wonderful. Now, Nilufar. Yes, thanks, Nilufar. Now, can you tell me what observation were they doing? And Jayanti ma'am described the entire problem beautifully. Now, what observation were they doing and what other concept of math apart from symmetry and area can come in?
Science can come in that because you're going to talk about the millets there. Millets are very good and without or it is grown in the organic format. So when they eat that will have a good impact. So that the science comes here, healthy life. So they can
healthy life also claim they are also being contributing, conserving the planet also comes in because you are not using artificial fertilizers. So very good. All that comes in. It's the integrated aspect of it. Good job done.
They
now
can have bar graph and frequency, polygon and pie chart.
Awesome. Awesome. So how will they collect the data, ma'am? Ritu ma'am. That's a very good observation. Now, how will children collect all of that?
As ma'am, they can collect right from the day one when they had sown the seed, and when the sapling came out, what was the size, how did it change, and how many seeds. Suppose they had sown 50 grams of seed, how many plants actually came out. So what was the frequency, how did they grow, during what time, what period, or what supplies were given to them, what nutrients were provided to them, what was the growth. So a comparative data can be collected and they can make a frequency polygon during which period of the plant's growth, the growth was maximum. A frequency polygon can be drawn. Then they can draw up like a pie chart. What was the amount that was sown and what was the amount that was harvested. So they can relate it with math.
Awesome. Very awesome. Very well done, Ritu ma'am. How many of you think that what Ritu ma'am says is doable 100% of the time? Or if you have any challenges, you need to give us the exceptional conditions so that is not possible.
Ma'am, it is possible. It is possible provided only hindrance is the syllabus completion.
No, ma'am, I'm not even talking of syllabus itself right now. I'm talking of there are certain situations in which what you mentioned may not be possible. I want because remember you're connecting it with real life, right? So under what situation will these observations not be possible? Actually, there is an answer already in the chat box, but I want the teacher to come up and say.
Climatic conditions, if it's raining, we'll not be able to take the children for a nature walk.
Yeah, that is true. But then the plans.
The only condition of what I foresee is if all the subjects are not integrated properly, if the science teacher has not taken that keen interest in making the children observe what is the change in the plants, then the child will not be able to make the observation clearly. So a child needs scaffolding, telling the way how it has to be done so that child knows how to take down the observation, how to measure, how to make an observation table. If the subjects are not integrated properly, then there would be a gap and the data could not be collected.
No, that is as a teacher you are saying. What I'm saying is, if you're saying plants have to grow day 1, day 5, day 10, whatever, you just gave it analysis and all, right? Perfect, awesome done. But that is considering ideal situations. Under what conditions will your experiment fail? Children also need to know sometimes it fails. So what would that be in real life?
So Nalini Ravi is given if there is no garden.
No garden, though, that is a practical problem. Otherwise, assuming garden is there, see, what did Jayanti ma'am say? She has sown the seeds. That means the garden was there. We assume that the garden is there already.
Okay. If the sapling doesn't grow,
has to be given.
saplings doesn't grow if plant doesn't grow. Means that
If
seeds,
the
whatever
plant doesn't grow, very good. So no children will now come back and know under what conditions the plant doesn't grow. That's the first thing. Soil conditions, weather conditions, climate conditions, etc. Under what conditions they also reconnecting it with the real life. Last month, I think October and November, very good. Whoever said this, pest attack, extreme weather conditions, who said this? I only say school's name. Whoever said this, awesome job. Pest attack, extreme weather conditions, yes. So that is what connecting it with the real life. They will understand if there's a problem with pests, or if there's a problem when flooding occurs, crops do not grow. So they will understand it with the real conditions. So when you are considering planting certain conditions, you may also want to consider overwatering certain group of plants so that children understand that as well. And how environment, nobody is immune to each other. So when a pest attacks one plant, it just all the other plants also get attacked. They also have to understand all of this, which is when the real life connection happens. So dear teachers, when you are planning your lesson plan, now it cannot be science alone. It cannot be I have to finish my syllabus. Now going forward, these are the changes that you need to do in your lesson plan. I'll just quickly share with one last thing with you, and then I would go ahead. Yes. Yeah. So what is the expected outcome? They need to be able to identify the various types of roots, shoots, and leaves. How can they change how does the color of the leaf change, and how does the plant? So all of it, I think Ritu Saxena ma'am did speak about it. They will make a note in the journal. All right. So, and then I think you all mentioned observation skills, you mentioned analysis and synthesis, you mentioned critical thinking. Now, how would you as a teacher, I'm going to stop sharing, how would you as a teacher assess these children? Let me go back. Now that children have done the observation, how will you assess? Will the assessment be same for everyone?
It will be different for different individuals, and we can assess them at different levels, not at the end of the assignment when it's done. We can assess them at different levels. So how we have learned with the new NEP about assessment of learning, for learning, as learning. So we can assess them at different levels, and we can, rather than having a cumulative test at the end of the assignment, we can have learning at different steps and find out how much the child has understood.
Awesome. Okay. Any other answers apart from what Ritu ma'am gave? Please go ahead. Okay, I see some of them. Let me just read it out. It varies. What's Valsala ma'am? You said it varies. How does it vary? Someone has written, Nilufar ma'am said, because of the floods, tomato cost went up to 130 rupees per kilo. Agree with you, ma'am. It really hurts us. Yes, because of the floods, no, we couldn't get all these vegetables, so that became a problem. Yeah. So how will, Valsala ma'am, if you are here, can you please unmute yourself and say it varies? How would you change? How would you assess the children?
From individual to individual, ma'am. From individual to individual, it varies.
Now you have the problem situation in front of you. You have a class of 30 students. You have a plot of a garden that you have given them, and they have actually observed, they have measured, they have done the pie charts, they have done everything. How will you assess their learning?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. But the students, those who are doing all the plants will not grow the same way, no? That's what I told. It may varies, no? The depends on the availability of sunlight and the nutrients, whatever it is. So it varies. That's what I said, ma'am. Because of the flood, most of the crops, they got destroyed.
No, now we'll drop the crops. Now we'll come back to the assessment. We'll come back to the classroom. How will you assess your students right now? How will you? No, you tell me. How will you assess your students now?
Yeah, we are giving different patterns of tests and so many skills, so that we will find out. That's what, ma'am.
Yeah, I think the Jagadambika ma'am has done it very, very well. She said from involvement, from demonstration, from the effort. Wonderfully done. Great job, ma'am.
Yeah. We can have group discussions. We can have their portfolios, whatever they have, the data that they have collected. We can assess those data and find out how much information they have collected and how much have they understood. We can have them assessing themselves, reflecting back where they went wrong, why was their crop not as good as the others. So they also will come up with certain things, and we can also ask peers assessment. So peers assessing each other, helping them out, where did they go wrong, and that is how they learn from each other and learn from their mistakes.
Super, very extremely well done, Ritu ma'am. So I just wanted, yeah, go ahead.
Rubrics will be given to the students before only for all the activities differently. So according to the rubrics, children will be it will help children also to do, and it is easy for teachers also to assess actually. So doing any activity, whether the child has understood the lesson, first of all, that is the content, I would like to assess the child like that. And what is the quality? Quality is all the activities, whatever they have done. I will be assessing their quality of expressing their observation, and the time duration, the time what I have given, within that time how they have done their activity and they have told the observation, and the neatness, the presentation, overall presentation. So these are the 4 simple rubrics I would like to give to the children. So it will be easy for them also and for us also to assess the children for any activity.
Awesome. Very, very well done, ma'am. So how should, now that, a lot of you have actually understood what all you have to do, how do you think your work will change? And what do you, now that, you said, how do I implement it in the classroom, right? I also understand that if, okay, let us assume there is no garden. Let us just come back to that situation. Now in the Jayanti ma'am school, there's a plot where she could plant it. Assume the same thing in a urban school with not many resources, and the children are actually very, very, too many children, too many students. Now, how will that school implement this lesson?
With the potted plants?
With the potted plants, okay.
Through terrace farming.
Terrace farming, okay.
They can take printouts from the net.
Printout from the net. Okay.
But how will they learn? They don't have first-hand experience when they take out the information from the net.
But when they don't have any space to experiment.
Right. So you have to think of other situations. So what do you think as teachers you need to change in your lesson plan? So, okay, what are the skills that are required for a teacher now? Now you have understood everything. So it is just not just being a teacher anymore, right? It's not just the objective of completing the syllabi anymore. Now, what else is required?
Teacher can plant in the class only, ma'am. Teacher can do that planting in the classroom only.
Teacher can do it, yeah. I understand that one. Now it is more. So I think there is some
facilitator.
Teacher becomes a facilitator. Very good. What else?
Just does scaffolding rather than giving out everything to the child.
Yeah, the teacher becomes facilitator. She only guides the children. Children learn on their own. It becomes very learner-centric at their own pace. All of that is good. Now the understanding is, I just wanted to facilitator. Yes, teacher becomes a facilitator. So you should now become more than one subject teacher. You cannot anyway go back and say you're a subject teacher. I'm a language teacher anymore. You now have to do it across horizontally, right? Okay. So I'll go back to this one. Yeah, this is how we did. Fine. So in the NEP bootcamp that IIM has, I think most of you did mention that you don't know how to change, how to implement it in a classroom. And for that, we do have these strategies, right? We have a self-learning module that is there. You can do it all by yourself at your own pace, at your own time. And very importantly, we have this experienced folks actually walking through the various methodologies in lesson plan and instructional design and assessment design. And you could, there are about 5 modules. Many of you would have gone through the NEP document, but that document was very, very dense, right? It was very hard to understand. So that has been simplified in pillars of NEP, and then your lesson plan, your instructional design and assessment design, you would be able to get help on how you can change it. Right now, we just discussed one example, one situation, one class, right? Similarly, you can come up with your own situations, and we have this. On the right hand side is the statistics about that boot camp itself. We have a video content for about 6 hours. You have a reading material for about 100 pages, and then there are 16 samples and so many quizzes, etc. In addition to it, if you have any questions, you can come back to us once a month. We have a support webinar for the people who enroll in the bootcamp. And the most important part of it is a self-learning module. Right? And if you think you will write your deliverables and you want somebody to review it, then you do let us know, because since it is going to be a self-learning module and you are going to go back and tell your students how to self-learn, one of the most important thing is you need to know how to self-learn yourself. And that's one of the important things that we think it would work. And if you have any other questions right now, I'm more than happy to answer. Right, this NEP bootcamp talks only about how do you implement NEP in the classroom? How does it impact the teacher straight away?
Ma'am, you haven't answered us that how you will, how we can do that lesson if the children are not having any garden at all.
If the children are not having any garden, then you can take them for a nature walk outside. They may not be able to measure the growth of the plant. That may not be possible, but you can take them to a nearby park. You can take them. I'm sure that every city, every town will have some access to plants, and then all the other integration with the other things can all happen. You may not be able to measure the plant, though that may not be possible, but some of them did come back and say you can use a potted plant. That's also possible. So there are a couple of other variations you can think of. That's where the teacher's creativity comes in. You can even ask the children. For all you know, the children will be far more creative than some of us adults, right? They would be able to give you suggestions of how to do that as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Ma'am, how do we register for this bootcamp?
Seema. So
I'll share the link of the registration here. You can all register yourself, and yeah.
You have any other questions in this? What does the NEP bootcamp do? Okay, now let us do the L part of it. We did the K, we did the W. Please do the L part of it in the chat box. Please go ahead and what did you learn in this 1 hour, the last 45 minutes? Please go and put it in the L part of it. And this is what you need to do for your children in your classrooms, the KWL. For any topic, you do the K. What is it that I already know? What is it that I want to know? And what is it that I have learned at the end of it? The KWL for every concept you teachers have to implement. So this itself is a practical experience for you. Yeah.
You're going to create a learning environment for the child. That is what your job is to do. You need not do anything.
Yeah. And then there's one more thing. I know a lot of teachers come to these webinars wondering about attendance and certificates. We do not give out certificates for free webinars unless there is a quiz at the end of it. I just thought we will just tell that. I know we have gotten a few questions regarding this. So this is, if you want a certificate, then these are not the kind of webinars. It's more about sharing whatever information, best practices, and how can we implement this in the classrooms. Yeah, understanding the need of the classrooms, making environment learner centered. Yeah, and anyone very tangible thing. I'm looking for any tangible thing. Tangible means something that you can understand. How many of you have implemented KWL in your classrooms? Can you can give me a thumbs up if you've already implemented KWL in your classrooms? Creative learning, okay. Yeah, Agnes Selvi ma'am says she has implemented KWL in her classroom. Anjula Nagaraj ma'am says yes, she has implemented. Okay. Please go back and implement KWL in your own classroom so you will know how many children, how much they have actually understand and how many of them have to do this. Okay. Okay, super. Yeah, yeah. Learn the restructuring of the school system. Okay, cool. Any of you have any other questions today? Any questions that you have?
Ma'am, I don't have a question, but I have one information. See, when I had a tree planting, a sapling planting or activity in my class, while my students told them, ma'am, I don't have space. Then I told them to approach their, the public sector, there may be the park, a public park, or the garden, or the neighbor's garden. To request them to give you a place where you can plant according to their convenience, where they will show you a place. So you can start taking care of it. Like that, you can donate to the society also. I have given them the suggestion and they have done it.
Nice, ma'am. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have one concern, ma'am.
Yeah.
Concern because now after NEP implemented, the first 5 grades will be called as primary. I mean pre-primary. Now the teachers, those who are teaching class 1 and 2, will fall under the still more lower level, or what? How the management may consider them while giving a salary, or like grading the teachers.
Ma'am, they will be in the same thing. They'll be teaching grade 1 and 2 only. We are going to call them as a foundational, because grade 1 and 2 also extension of the pre-primary. It is a primary, it may be called, but we call it as a cluster, we call it as a foundational. The salary pattern, everything will be the same. You need not put them to the lower level. There is no lower level at all. They are only putting the foundation for us. That is why they're calling us a foundational. So we have to make it very strong, the foundational level.
Yeah, DP ma'am, which slide do you want me to show?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Regarding the assessment, there was a slide, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't take a screenshot of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a question. It's a general question. Now, according to the current scenario, actually, we are dealing with online classes and all. The level of children has come down. Like now, if the child is in grade 3, sitting at home, we not able to handhold much because of these online sessions. Now the level of children has come down. The child has come down. Now the child is going to grade 4. Next year the child will go to grade 4, but the child is not able to read properly, not able to analyze the things and also how to deal with such situations.
There I can answer it for you. You should have only within 3 months they'll all pick up when they come to the physical class. But we should have the bridge course for them. Whatever you think that there is a learning and gap, there is teaching and learning gap, we call it as. That gap, what as a teacher we can judge it very well. So those times you have to prepare the material. Don't go for any structured material at all. You have to do it according to your child requirement. Prepare it, launch it for the 3 months side by side what you're doing your syllabus when you start your session next year. But within 3 months you can cope up, because children are very sharp. Teachers only have to have the pace to manage with them. They will do very fast actually, because a lot of reasons contribute for this, because they are not, we can't say that they are not learning. They are not projecting it outside. They are learning. Always their observation will be very good, really, whatever you teach. It will be there, but they are not projecting, because there is no need for them to do that. So better I'll ask you to prepare some bridge course for them. The repetition, lot of practice worksheets, lot of talking to them. This will create a beautiful thing. Within 3 months, they can come to your level of what do you think in 4th standard the child should be. In that stage, they will come. You have to reduce your pace of teaching for what you're teaching on the grade 4th. But simultaneously, you can work it out. You assign 20 minutes for your bridge course. This will be benefit for the children who are all think that they know that and they are projected very well. This child might not be projected, that's all. From what she has learned or he has learned, he has not told you. Their observation levels are very good. That too, in primary level, we don't have much problem at all. I think up to elementary level, grade 7, we don't have problem. Our problem comes from 8th to 12th. There is a lot of teaching and learning gap is there. That how we address, we have to really think on that level. Because the content is heavy there and we have to work it out in that level. But up to primary and up to elementary, grade 7, we don't have much problem. We can cope up within 2 months. I think we can come up to that level.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else has any other question, please?
Ma'am, it is possible to show the slides once again. Thank you, ma'am.
No, I think that way I just now shared it with that person, Tipi. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Jagadambika ma'am, I think if you just register it, I think Seema will call you. Okay. So what has been the biggest takeaway for you today, teachers? One takeaway for you. I get very nervous the way you get nervous, right? When your students don't answer in class. This is very nerve-wracking. Has there been any takeaway for you at all from the last 1 hour you have spent with us, teachers? Come on. Assessment pattern, as Agnes ma'am says. Thank you. Anyone else? Experiential learning, structured lesson plan, experiential learning. Okay, we can learn everything with each other's inputs. Okay, cool. Incorporating integration. Yes, that's important. How to modify my lesson plan. Right. Okay, so it was useful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Seema, over to you.
Thank you, Lata. So there is a number which is mentioned in the chat box. You can call the person. Her name is Swapna. She's heading the program right now in terms of marketing, and she will help you and guide you in everything that all the details that you need. Along the side, we have also shared the link of the program. You can please click to that and register yourself with that. Also, we will come back to you with more details. And you can also log into our website IIEM Global for more information. So these are certain things that you can help. We can help you with, and otherwise also if there are any questions, we are open to take questions.
Yeah, and the link is also placed in the chat box where they can click and register and enroll themselves.
Yes.
And 22nd, we have a launching pad. Please join us for that. Welcome. 22nd.
We are formally launching the bootcamp. Now, today it's only the precursor for that. We are formally launching the bootcamp on next Wednesday. Please do join us. Right.